They finally did it. The rumors we have been tracking for months on this channel were true. While the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox, are trying to distract you with celebrity gossip and political theater, the most significant financial event of the 21st century just happened. Do not look away. This is the weekend everything changes. Good evening, Patriots. Today is Sunday, the 18th of January, 2026, and the world as we know it has just shifted on its axis. Yesterday morning, at exactly 9 a.m. Eastern Time, documents leaked from the Department of Justice confirmed the unthinkable. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the man who controls the value of the money in your pocket, is officially under criminal investigation. They are calling it mismanagement of funds. They are calling it procedural errors regarding overnight repo markets. But you and I know what this really is. This is the end game. This is the moment President Trump has been waiting for. The battle for the money printer has turned into a full-blown war. For decades, the Federal Reserve has operated in the shadows, unaccountable to the American people, printing trillions of dollars and destroying the purchasing power of the middle class. They thought they were untouchable. They thought they were above the law. But today, the shield has cracked. This investigation freezes the Fed's ability to act. This is the critical point nobody is talking about. For the first time in history, the Federal Reserve is paralyzed. They cannot print money to stop the bleeding because the man with his finger on the button is being interrogated. So, what happens when Wall Street realizes there is no safety net? What happens when the banks realize there is no one coming to save them this time? We're looking at a liquidity freeze that makes 2008 look like a picnic. If you value the truth, if you refuse to be a victim of this system, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and have that notification bell turned on right now. You need to be part of this community because when the news breaks on Monday morning, it will be too late to prepare. Hit that like button to help us bypass the algorithm and warn as many Americans as possible. We are in this together. Now, let's look at the evidence. Why now? Why, after years of inflation and economic destruction, are they coming for Powell at this specific moment? It is not because they suddenly care about your grocery bills. It is because the system is breaking and they need a scapegoat. The leaked DOJ memo specifically cites gross negligence regarding the massive commercial real estate crash of late 2025. That crash left a $1 trillion hole in the balance sheets of major banks. Powell tried to bail them out quietly. He tried to print another $2 trillion in December through emergency windows to cover up the insolvency of the banking sector. But this time, he got caught. Trump's new Treasury Secretary has intercepted the flow. This is a coordinated strike. It is not just about one man. It is about dismantling the current monetary regime. But while everyone is focused on the handcuffs waiting for Powell, something much darker, something much more terrifying happened in the skies over the Pacific Ocean last night. A frantic sell-off that indicates our foreign creditors know exactly what is coming next. While the Department of Justice was raiding offices in D.C., Beijing made their move, our intelligence sources tracking global bond movements noticed a massive anomaly at 3 a.m. this morning. In a series of off-market block trades, Chinese state-owned banks dumped approximately $50 billion worth of US Treasuries. Why is this significant? Because they did it on a weekend. They didn't wait for the markets to open on Monday. They found private buyers in the Middle East and Europe and unloaded American debt at a deep discount. This is a fire sale. China knows what is coming tomorrow morning. They know that with Powell under investigation, the US dollar is vulnerable. They are exiting the burning building before the American public even smells the smoke. Think about the timing. This is not a coincidence. They smell weakness in Washington. They see the chaos between the White House and the Federal Reserve, and they are pulling the rug out from under us. When bond prices crash, interest rates spike. If rates spike on Monday, the housing market, which is already on life support, will flatline. Your home equity? Gone. Your stock portfolio? It could drop 20% in a single trading session. This is a coordinated attack on the dollar standard. The BRICS nations have been waiting for this moment. They have been hoarding gold while we have been printing paper. Now, the paper is burning. But let's go deeper. Who benefits from this chaos? You have to understand that this investigation into Powell is not just about justice. It is a coup. It is a hostile takeover of the monetary system. President Trump has signed Executive Order 14099, which is rumored to give the Treasury Department direct control over the Fed's balance sheet in times of national economic emergency. By declaring Powell a criminal, they have created that emergency. They are going to use this crisis to implement a new system. And this is where it gets dangerous for you. They are not going back to the gold standard immediately. They are paving the way for the digital dollar. The FedNow system is already in place. With the current banking system collapsing under the weight of bad debt and criminal investigations, they will present the central bank digital currency as the only safe solution. The banks are corrupt, they will say. Trust the Fed directly. This is the trap. They destroy the old system to force you into the new one, a system of total control, a system where they can turn off your ability to buy or sell if you disagree with them. And it starts with the destruction of confidence we are witnessing right now. The bond market is the smartest money in the room. And right now, the bond market is screaming, get out. The yield curve has inverted to levels we haven't seen since the Great Depression. The smart money is moving into hard assets. They are buying land, they are buying commodities, and they are buying gold. Meanwhile, the average American is sitting on cash that is about to lose a massive chunk of its purchasing power. You need to understand that the inflation numbers they release are a lie. The real inflation is about to hit us like a tsunami when the dollar index crashes on Monday. Import prices will skyrocket. Gas, food, electronics, everything coming from overseas will cost significantly more by next week. So, what does this specific sequence of events mean for you? For the patriot watching this in Ohio, in Texas, in Florida, you are sitting there right now perhaps thinking your money is safe because it is in a systemically important bank. You think the FDIC protects you up to $250,000. You were wrong. And that mistake could cost you your entire life savings by tomorrow afternoon. Let me read you a subsection of the Emergency Banking Stabilization Act that is rumored to be signed by executive order tomorrow night. It explicitly mentions a mechanism called bail-ins. Most Americans have heard of bailouts where the government prints money to save the banks. But a bail-in is different. A bail-in means that if a bank fails because of a liquidity crisis like the one triggered by the Chinese bond dump, they do not have to give you your cash. They have the legal authority to convert your deposits, your hard-earned savings, into bank equity. They give you worthless stock in a failing bank instead of your dollars. They steal your money to recapitalize their own bad bets. And with Jerome Powell under criminal investigation, the Federal Reserve is paralyzed. They cannot act as the lender of last resort. The FDIC has less than 1% of the funds needed to cover a nationwide bank run. The math does not work. Here is the scenario for Monday morning. When the markets open, the algorithm trading machines will react to the DOJ investigation and the bond crash. Panic will set in. Millions of Americans will try to log into their bank accounts to transfer money or sell stocks. The system will lock up. You might go to the ATM on Monday, and it might say temporary limit reached or service unavailable. You might try to log into your brokerage account to sell your crashing stocks, and the website will crash due to unprecedented high traffic. This is not a glitch. This is a feature. This is how they stop the bleeding by freezing your assets. We have seen this happen in Cyprus. We have seen this in Lebanon. Do not think American exceptionalism will save you from the math. The math says the system is bankrupt. The math says the derivatives market is a ticking time bomb that just got detonated by the DOJ investigation. And consider the interest rates. As bond yields spike because China is selling, interest rates on consumer debt will adjust instantly. If you have a variable rate mortgage or high interest credit card debt, prepare for a shock. We are talking about rates jumping to levels that will freeze the housing market instantly. Your home equity could evaporate before the week is over. The Treasury Department knows this. That is why they wanted Powell out. By investigating him for criminal negligence, they have the perfect excuse to suspend normal banking operations under the guise of national security or preserving evidence. It is the ultimate cover-up. They destroy the old system to force you into the new one. And have you noticed the silence? The CEOs of the big banks, Diamond, Moynihan, they are silent. Warren Buffett is sitting on a record pile of cash. They knew. They positioned themselves weeks ago, and they left the average American holding the bag. I am not telling you this to scare you. Fear paralyzes, but knowledge empowers. I am telling you this because I want you to survive. I want you to thrive, while the sheeple, those who are still asleep, trusting CNN and the White House, are led to the slaughter by the elites. The investigation into Powell is the signal. The bond dump by China is the confirmation. The window of opportunity to protect your family is closing. It might be hours, not days. So, what must you do right now before the sun rises on Monday? First, cash is king for the next 72 hours. Go to the ATM immediately. Withdraw enough physical cash to cover your family's needs for food and gas for at least 2 weeks. If the interbank lending system freezes on Monday, credit card readers will go dark. Digital numbers on a screen will mean nothing. Only paper currency in your hand will buy bread. Do not keep this money in a bank safety deposit box, because if the bank closes, you are locked out. Keep it at home, somewhere safe. Second, secure real assets. The only shield against a dying dollar and a paralyzed Federal Reserve is God's money, gold and silver. And listen to me closely. I am not talking about the paper ETF, GLD, or mining stocks that Wall Street sells you. Those are just claims on metal that doesn't exist. I am talking about physical metal that you can hold in your hand. When faith in the dollar evaporates, gold is the only thing that remains. If you have been waiting for a dip to buy, the time for waiting is over. Third, prepare mentally. Stop listening to the mainstream media. They are lying to keep you calm while they steal your future. They will tell you the banking holiday is for your protection. They will tell you the CBDC is convenient. Do not comply. History is being written this weekend, the 18th of January, 2026. You have a choice. You can be a spectator watching your life savings disappear in a bail-in, or you can be a patriot who saw the signs and took action. We will be monitoring the Department of Justice and the Asian markets all night long. If President Trump issues the executive order, or if we see another massive dump of treasuries, we will go live immediately to update you. You cannot afford to miss that alert. If you value the truth, if you value your freedom, and if you refuse to let them steal your wealth, hit that subscribe button and smash the bell notification right now. Join the army of the awake. Share this video with everyone you care about, your family, your neighbors. Wake them up before Monday morning. Leave a comment below right now with these 3 words. I am prepared. Let the elites know that we are watching, we are ready, and we are not afraid. This is Economy Echoes. The storm is here. Stay vigilant.